In the quiet town of Ashwood, where the streets were lined with ancient oaks and the air always smelled of rain, there stood a library so old it seemed to have grown from the earth itself. Its walls were covered in ivy, and its windows were stained with colors that shimmered like emeralds and rubies in the sunlight. But no one dared to enter. The townsfolk whispered of a book hidden deep within its shelves, a book with no title, no author, and pages as black as the night sky. They called it the Shaper, for it was said to have the power to change reality itself. Some claimed to have seen it, its cover shifting like liquid, its pages whispering secrets that only the mad could understand. One stormy evening, a young librarian named Clara decided to investigate. She had always been drawn to the unknown, and the rumors of the Shaper fascinated her. Armed with a flashlight and a skeptical mind, she pushed open the creaking doors and stepped inside. The air inside was heavy and cold. Dust motes floated in the faint light, and the smell of decay filled her nostrils. She wandered deeper, her footsteps echoing off the stone walls. Then she saw it, a single shelf, hidden behind a tapestry, with only one book upon it. Clara hesitated. The book seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy, but her curiosity overcame her fear. She reached out and touched its cover. It was warm, almost alive. As she opened it, the room around her began to shift. The walls melted like wax, and the floor tilted as if she were standing on a ship at sea. The words on the pages were not words at all. They were images, sounds, and feelings, all swirling together in a chaotic dance. She tried to close the book, but it wouldn't budge. The images grew clearer, and she saw a version of herself standing in a world that was identical to her own, yet utterly different. In this world, the sky was crimson, and the trees were made of bone. Suddenly, the vision Clara stumbled backward, her heart racing. She turned to leave, but as she did, she heard a faint whisper in her ear. "You shouldn't have looked," it said when Clara returned to her small cottage. She found everything changed. Her furniture was the same, but it was made of glass. Her cat was still curled by the fire, but its eyes glowed like embers, and on her desk, there was a note, written in her own handwriting, "Welcome to your new reality." It read. Clara screamed, but the sound was muffled, as if the air itself was swallowing it. She ran through the streets. But the town was empty. The houses were hollow shells, their windows staring like empty eyes, and then she saw it, a figure standing in the distance, its shape shifting like the cover of the Shaper. It was her, or perhaps it wasn't. She couldn't tell. Clara tried to run, but her feet were rooted to the ground. The figure began to walk toward her, its movements unnatural, as if it were being pulled by an invisible string. As it drew closer, Clara realized the horrifying truth. The Shaper hadn't just changed her reality. It had replaced her. She was no longer the real Clara. She was just a character in a story. A story written by the book itself. The last thing she heard was the sound of pages turning. And then everything went black when the townsfolk found Clara the next morning. She was sitting on the library floor, the book open in her lap. Her eyes were wide with terror, and her hands were frozen in place. But when they tried to move her, she crumbled to dust, as if she had never been real at all. They say the Shaper is still out there, waiting for its next victim. So, if you ever find yourself in Ashwood, and you see a library with ivy-covered walls, don't go inside, and whatever you do, don't open the Shaper. Because once you do, there's no going back, and if you're hearing this right now, it might already be too late.